success rate is like about 86%.
Wow.
So just from one session, it's a prick in the ear. So it's a product we inject in the outer ear and the earlobe, and it takes the nicotine craving. It's really impressive. Actually, I was impressed myself, honestly. Yeah, I went there. I was a bit skeptical, but when I saw all the reviews and I saw all the echoes, it was really mind blowing.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad I'm collaborating with them.
Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Face It podcast. Today, we have a very special episode in a long line of very special episodes. We are travelling up and down the UK to visit some of the industry's leading practitioners and experts in their fields, whether that is in aesthetics or in beauty. These people have influenced their industry in some way, have achieved huge success, and are full of amazing stories, inspiration, and advice for both you and for me. We'll be visiting them on site at their own clinics, salons, or studios and getting their views, their thoughts, and opinions on their careers. There will be something in every single discussion to take away and apply to your own business. So stick around and grab yourself a pen. Sometimes all it takes is a small nugget from an entire conversation that can spark the biggest change in your business. So without further ado, it's time to welcome our guest. We've got a very special guest today. We're at one of the clinics here in Leicester. I've got Dr. Hany with me here today. I am just going to do a little bit of an introduction though, because you've got a huge background expertise. I feel like the listeners need to know who you are and what you do. So, world expert in medical aesthetics, awarded Best Medical Practice in Europe, which is a massive accolade to anyone listening. On the editorial board for Anti-Age magazine, an international speaker, a thought leader in product development, and trusted by labs globally. So a lot. A visionary in medical aesthetics and an inspiration to a lot of people. So it's a bit of an intro to you, Dr. Hany. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. Obviously, it's a great privilege.
It's a pleasure.
It's a privilege for us. So in all that you do, because as we've said, there's a lot on your plate, what are you most passionate about and why are you passionate about it?
Okay, so, well, it changes with the years. So when we start, we're all into like proper aesthetics, like injectables, enhancing features, etc. And then tendencies now have shifted more into longevity, into anti-aging, preventative medicine, which is quite challenging as well. And I think this is the future.
Yeah, and you can see that in a lot of your work as well. And we'll kind of come on to those different areas that you've got expertise in. But what did your personal journey look like into the expert that you are today? What was your route in? Because everyone has so many different routes into medicine, aesthetics. So what was your journey into it like?
Well, I graduated as a pharmacy doctor first, and then after that I specialized in cosmetology, and then after cosmetology I went into medical aesthetics, and then anti-aging and preventative medicine and longevity, which is what I'm mainly focusing on nowadays, along with the classical aesthetics, obviously.
Yeah, and that's the thing, it's lifelong learning. It never stops, does it?
Absolutely.
Like you'll be there doing that master classes and all those things.
Yeah.
And I think we picked up on a lot of that when we've spoken to a lot of other doctors that we've had on here as well, is that they've got that passion for learning, because it never is.
It's never ending. Yeah, never ending.
Never ending. You've earned the nickname the Magician. Now, I found this going through your website for your unbelievable work in the male face sculpting arena. So just tell us a little bit more about male face sculpting and what that is.
Okay, well, I have got no idea who decided that was my nickname, but I liked it. So, well, male face sculpting is one of the most challenging procedures we could actually do, and that's a procedure I've been teaching for quite some time to doctors. And it actually can be life-changing to people who need more of a contouring to their face, who need more masculine features, to look more chiseled, to look sharper. And it's been quite challenging. Sometimes it tackles lower face, sometimes it's all about profile balancing as well. So we work also on the balance between forehead, nose, lips, and chin. And obviously most of the times it's the jawline, mandibular angles, the chin, and everything related to masculine features.
Do you find that over the last sort of 10 years maybe that there's a lot more there's a lot more people willing to look at the male aspect of aesthetics, because historically it tended to be all women
Yeah,
mostly that we
yeah,
thought about. So
yeah.
has there been a bit of an increase in that and a demand for that as well from your perspective?
Huge increase, because when I started back in 2005, I've had maybe 10% of my clientele being males. Today, we're almost 45, 55.
Wow.
Yeah, 45% are males in our clinics now. They seek different treatments, however, they are into aesthetics. It could be mainly different procedures than women, but they are at the clinics, they are taking care of themselves, they need to look after themselves.
Yeah, and I'm kind of skipping ahead on my questions here, but I have noticed that you tend to go for more of that natural approach when you're going for your
Always.
profile balancing. So I feel like that fits in with that more masculine aesthetic a little
Absolutely,
bit.
absolutely,
And have you
absolutely.
found that with women a little bit now as well, that there's been a bit of a turn in the tide with it? So people are looking for more of that enhancement, but that natural appearance, so they can pull it off in a more natural way.
Sometimes it's a bit trickier with women. Some women seek stuff that show, unfortunately. But yeah, we can see also tendencies going to natural looks and all these slight enhancements.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wonderful.
but it depends on each person.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it depends on the client's needs, doesn't it? But you are trusted by laboratories all over the world. So just to kind of name a few for those that are listening: Cosmosoft, Cutera, Biotech. So some big companies there. What do you enjoy about representing product? Because you do quite a lot of it.
Yeah. Well, my collaborations with laboratories are quite different depending on each agreement. So for some, I'm a board advisory member. I could be a formulator for like for Omnilux, to whom I did a whole skincare line. For others, I'm a KOL, key opinion leader. So I give my input in the development, and also I launch their new products in congresses. For others, I'm just an ambassador or just a brand ambassador. So I just like tell people about the product and promote it. So it's quite diverse, and I do actually like it.
Yeah.
It's pretty challenging, and always nice to get in touch with multinationals.
Yeah, and I think as well, I've sort of touched on this on the podcast before, but you have to be quite careful when you're selecting who to represent, who to
Absolutely,
put your face to, and
absolutely.
you have to really believe in that product
Yeah.
as well. So I guess part of that journey for you is really understanding, what is this product?
Oh yes, absolutely. I
Yeah,
would never be an ambassador to a brand I haven't tried before. So I
yeah,
always have to try several months, and then it could be either a yes or a no.
yeah. Have you ever developed your own, or would you develop your own product? Is that something that you've looked at before?
Yes, I do have actually
Yes.
yes, I do have. We started actually with our own line. Now I have my own global anti-aging cream that I wanted to develop, but then COVID happened, and then we struggled with the manufacturer, which is in Switzerland. The cream is still there, but we're still aiming to develop the whole line.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon down
I'm
the road.
sure you will. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
thank you.
can imagine it. Yeah. You've developed an anti-smoking therapy. So you touched on this a little bit in the sort of pre-notes, but this removes nicotine cravings. Have I got that right?
Yes, actually, I haven't developed it. I am a partner with the developer of the
Wonderful.
therapy, who's a German scientist, and the therapy has been there for almost 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a pure homeopathy. It's a herbal mix, and it's patented all over the world, and it's the highest efficacy in terms of therapy for smoking cessation.
Yeah.
So yes, it does remove nicotine dependence on the spot. Success rate is like about 86%.
Wow.
So just from one session, it's a prick in the ear. So it's a product we inject in the outer ear and the earlobe, and it takes the nicotine craving. It makes the receptor of the nicotine uh, insensitive, so you feel no more craving, and it actually leads to a nicotine discharge. So you empty the receptors from their nicotine, and the people can feel it actually on the spot.
Wow.
And yeah, it's been an outbreak actually, and people are really relying on it, and we've helped so many people to stop smoking
Yeah.
thanks to that.
It's pretty amazing that I'm only
Yeah,
really just hearing about it. I'm a non-smoker, so
yeah.
maybe
So
that's
you,
an
yeah,
element of it, but
absolutely.
it's quite amazing that we're only just hearing about it. And it begs the question, why are we only just hearing about it? I suppose because it's breaking that habit and
Yeah.
people's reliance. But, what are your thoughts on e-cigs, especially from a doctor perspective? What are your thoughts on that we're kind of trying to get people onto e-cigs, and there's something like this that's out there where we can remove that craving altogether?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming your camp move away from that, move into this therapy?
Actually, it removes all sorts of nicotine craving, whether it's e-cigarettes or if it's the vape,
Amazing.
or even the cigar, or even or any sort of nicotine, even the shisha. So any sort of nicotine dependence. So we treat all these kind of smokers,
Yeah.
and it's one single therapy for all of these.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we need to get that in the show notes. So yeah, we
Yeah,
will.
yeah, it's really impressive. Actually, I was impressed myself,
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah, I went there. I was a bit skeptical, but when I saw all the reviews and I saw all the echoes, it was really mind blowing.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad I'm collaborating with them, with
Absolutely.
Neurazon. Yeah.
If I've got lots of people that are listening that are thinking, I need some of that, where can they find this therapy at the moment?
Well, here in Leicester
Mhm.
and in London, clinic is in Mayfair, so they can just drop us a message and we can book them in.
Wonderful. We'll get that in the show notes as well, guys, for you to know which clinics you can go to.
Sure.
So what are your ambitions with partnering up with this new treatment? Like, what are your ambitions with that? Is that quite a passion project for you? Is it something that you really want to push?
Yes. It's actually, I didn't expect to become that passionate about it, but the outcome has been really amazing. And my aim is to launch it almost everywhere. So we're gonna be hitting the Middle East very soon. Already we had some contacts with several countries in the Middle East, and hopefully it's gonna spread also in all over the UK.
Yeah, that'd be great, because I
Yeah.
mean, it's quite interesting. I wonder what the data is about, the sort of countries that have more of that
Yeah.
addiction to nicotine. I'm
Yes.
guessing UK will be quite high up on that
UK
list.
is high, and actually in the Middle East, Jordan is
Yeah.
very, very high. Iraq as well is very high.
Yeah.
The Emirates. So yeah, we've got. I mean, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a world issue, isn't
Yeah,
it?
of course it is. Yeah, yeah. So what is your advice for those who are listening, because most of our audience are practitioners themselves
Yeah.
of some sort,
Yeah.
and a lot of them maybe sort of lower on their journey than you are, but they've got ambitions for releasing product or getting involved in something like that. So what would your advice be for people who want to go about getting in the development side of things?
Mhm.
Like, how did that happen for you? Do people approach you? Do you sometimes have an idea and think, what,
Yeah.
I'll speak to the right people?
Yeah. I mean, what I've learned is that you shouldn't force things.
Yeah.
Things will come smoothly to you. You just make your own work. You do it well. You will make the right buzz, and people will come over. You'll attract people. I don't think you need to force anything. So don't put like hard. I mean, all of these goals. None of these were really my goals when I started. They just pumped up because I was probably doing the right buzz. So I think you should start by doing your job right, and those will open. This is my own experience.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think a lot of what I've picked up from you as well is that actually you're really entrepreneurial. Yes, you're a doctor and all that side of it, but actually you're an entrepreneur as well. And it's that meeting of
Thank
two
you.
things. And I think that gets missed quite a bit as well, especially coming out of
Yeah.
medical school.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily get taught the business side of doing things.
Yeah.
And it's quite interesting when you meet people that are top of their game, that actually they've got a very strong entrepreneurial spirit. It's not just about the medical knowledge and everything else.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
So, yeah, I think that's
thank you so much.
Important piece of the pie overall. But you come from a less is more approach. I mentioned it earlier with the profile balancing side of what you do. So when you have a client come in, a brand new client, what are you initially looking for in that client? Like, what are you assessing when they walk in?
Well, first I start by trying to get what's bothering them. So we start by what's the reason of your visit first, and then it will be my turn to put my own input. And it's really, really quite personalized. I mean, there's no one recipe fits all. It's always about their expectations, how they look. Faces are all different, so it has to be quite personalized. So there's no one protocol that fits all.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, and this is what gives you the diversity. This is why this work is quite challenging, and hopefully making everyone happy at some point.
Yeah, that's the goal at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the ultimate goal. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about that we've maybe not covered? Is there a part of your industry, business, your treatments that you do that you want to mention? Otherwise, we're kind of coming to the end of the interview.
Well, I think we've gone through almost all.
I've squeezed
everything.
a lot.
Yes,
yeah,
you did. Yeah.
I do.
Have you gone through the website?
Oh yes. Deep dive your Instagram. Deep dive. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you did a great job. Honestly.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else, to be honest.
Brilliant. Good. Well, in that case, then, just kind of for our listeners then, where can they find you online?
Yeah, well, on my Instagram page, which is my name, and my website, and then people can just send a request from the website or by DMing on Instagram. There's lots of admins always over there, and yeah, there's even a contact number if they wanna just drop us a WhatsApp. So yeah, we're very easily reachable.
Excellent. I will ask one last question actually,
Yeah.
which is, I know that you did initially do some training way back when you had masterclasses, I think at some
Yes.
point.
Yes.
And have you moved on to do your own training at this point? Do you have any training
It was on the
courses?
plan. It was on the plan. However, once we wanted to start, COVID hit,
No.
and it had to go a bit on pause. But yeah, I've trained for a long time at the Royal College.
Yes.
I've trained with several academies. I even created their curriculum. So I've introduced new curriculums to some academies, and I've trained for quite some time. But now I can take doctors for shadowing in my clinic, but I don't give for now academic courses. For now, it's on pause a bit.
Well, you've got enough on your plate,
Yes, absolutely.
as we've
Yeah,
already kind of gone
yeah,
through.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. It's lots of time,
it
lots of
is.
energy. It is rewarding, but sometimes you just need to make your
Yeah,
choices.
absolutely. Well, thank you so much for doing an
Thank
interview with
you,
us
thank you. It was
today.
amazing.
It was